night. So that means it's time for the Troubleshooters. Welcome back. And as we can see, I am doing well. I'm actually doing quite well. I feel a lot better. I have recovered. I have kicked things in the butt, and all is good now once more. So hopefully everybody had, for those of us in the States, everybody had a great Thanksgiving. You ate tons of food, more than you probably needed to. I know that I did. I lost a bunch of weight for the because when I had, when I had gotten ill, when I had COVID, and whenever I came back off of it, I was like, oh, I can eat food again. Yay. So negated all that loss. So, hey, there we go. In the meantime, though, like I said, everybody in the household is recovered. We're all doing well. We are all going out of doors now. We've been locked away in the house for 14 days, having things delivered. We're still continuing to do some of that just because it's convenient. But like I said, overall, we're doing great. I'm back out at client's house, making sure I take precautions as always, keeping a mask on and things like that. So, like I said, we're doing great. And want to talk about the show for a minute. We have tonight's episode, and then we have two more episodes before we're going to take a break. So we're going to have one on the 7th, and then again on the 14th, and then the 21st and the 28th. There will be no Troubleshooters as we are taking a break, 2-week break for the holiday season. We will be back on the 4th. That is January the 4th with our first show for the new year, and back at it in full swing and everything else like that. Some changes will be coming by that time. Hopefully, we'll have some additional changes coming by that time. In the meantime, just keep an eye out for it. Speaking of changes, don't forget that we have our new song on the back end of things. Thank you very much to FX May Vary. That is the name of the band that created a song called Dire Bear for us, and it's our outro. So as the show ends, you'll get to hear our new outro song, and you will also get to hear our intro song here in just a few moments. I wanted to also thanks to D&D Beyond for continuing to support and sponsor us. They're actually having a sale right now on a lot of their books, so get in right now on Cyber Monday, as low as $20 for books that you need or want, things like that. So don't miss out on that opportunity. That's going on right now. DBeyond.com. Get over there and show your love and support. They are local here. I've met Adam on a couple of occasions and have talked to him on several occasions. Super great guy. I love the product, love what they're doing. So give them your love if you can. I have a physical copy and I have an electronic copy because I find that in this age and everything going on, I am a lot more digital than I am physical these days. Speaking of, if you are looking to run a campaign, you want to get a special holiday one-shot in, don't forget you can hire the Dire Bear GM to run your game for you. I provide all sorts of things. I did a birthday party locally, or not a birthday party, a bachelor party locally. We had the terrain out and the miniatures. They got to keep all the miniatures. We did scrolls and keys and all this wonderful stuff that's all part of the adventure that they got to keep. Online, we do a great many things. I give you all the assets so that you can use them in the future if you want to. So that means the maps in JPEG or PNG format and the character sheets and everything else like that. So you guys can keep that and use those again in a future adventure. So reach out to me for costs and things like that. And a huge shout out to, again, to Otter, who is going to be here in just a few minutes, for all of his hard work and putting together some of the things and the changes that we've been seeing. We have been working extra hard. This last week was a bit of an off week for some of our shows, but that's okay. We're all back and running and should be going full steam ahead this week. So don't forget to check those out as the week goes on. And I think that's what I have for the announcements. Let's see. I covered the song. Stick around for that. It's a lot of fun at the end of the show. And then we talked about the 2 more episodes after this one before we take our break. So I think that just about covers it. So without further ado, let's get to the Troubleshooters. Welcome back, everyone. When we last left off, the party put to rest the Barghest, which was there as an omen from a small city in France. Well, not a small city. Tarascon is not small by any stretch of the imagination. However, they returned back to their home base to find a note, an invitation to Colm and Company, inviting them to a party in Romania, about a week's advance notice about the party. Along with the party, the characters and the player characters themselves went from level 3 to 4. And they are now making preparations for the party. They've had about a week's worth of time to get ready for it. And any other preparations that they need to make. Speaking of preparations, was there anything during that downtime, that week's time where you weren't just running from one end of Europe to the other, that you'd like to accomplish something? And what is it that you would like to have accomplished during that time? We'll start with Otter. Moonin.
Honestly, I probably would have just been doing some gun maintenance, make sure everything's in tip top shape before we leave,
Excellent.
top off on ammo, put a requisition in for that.
Ah, Calm loves requisition forms.
I'm I'm sure he was super happy about it.
All
And
right.
otherwise, just relax and explore in the town for the week.
Excellent. Um, you come to find out that there is a machine shop there
Mm-hmm.
in the town that works with close proximity to the railway, to the rail yard, um, turning parts and things like that for the machines there. You come to make some friends therein. Uh, not You're on first name basis with a couple of them, um, but most of them recognize you when you walk in. You're not quite a staple yet, but they've started letting you take a turn at some of the machines, especially whenever you show them and talk to them and tell them what you know about using the machines that are there in their workshop.
Lovely.
All right. The other thing that you do is Colm pulls you aside to get you, along with Gedge and Emrys, fitted for a suit that the company pays for. Speaking of Emrys, during that week, is there anything in particular that you'd like to do?
Um, Not really. Just some simple preparations, getting blades resharpened, maybe getting fitted with a new belt so I can just
So
hide the
you keep
blades a little
like
bit better.
three more in there somewhere?
Yeah, why
Yeah.
not? Exactly. um, Probably prepping just some of the other like side poisons that I have besides that.
Sure. All right. Sounds good. So again, taking you aside to fit you with a nice suit, the cravat being the thing that everybody fits with. So you have all fitted neat.
If
So
we
because it's
were
become a thing every week, let's see your teateacup this week. I just
Oh,
gotta see it. I want you to show it off.
it's actually liquid in it now, but
There
it's a little
you
gold
go.
one.
Yeah, there you go. I'm sorry, Moonin, you were
Oh,
saying
no
something?
worries. That is an important fixture every week. We have to see the teacup.
Exactly.
But if we were being fitted for suits, Moonin would be very insistent that it was tailored with room for his holster underneath the coat.
Um, Combe puts up a modicum of argument about that, but then realizes that that's pointless. So he gives up and
You hired me
allows
for
them to
one
fit you.
thing. Allow me to do my thing.
You're correct. I did indeed hire you for just such manners and purposes. So I can't argue with you and your holsters if I can't argue about a belt for more knives for Emrys. So jolly good. Make
I'll
sure
still
of it.
look nice. You won't
Oh,
notice if it's tailored.
absolutely. Of course. And that brings us to Gedge, who is also getting fit. Is there anything in particular that you'd like to do in the week's time that you were out and about? All right.
No, if there's just anything he can help around with, he would be doing that. But other than that, he's not too wanderlusty.
Okay. As it is, you get to learn the name of the lady at the front desk. Her name is Temperance, and she is German, and she is of German and British descent. Um, she speaks both, and you guys have many conversations in English as well as in German. She is very nice, but you can tell that she is very much a gatekeeper. She is the keeper of the keys. She is the one that you need to make sure that you impress if you were to see anybody within this place. The other thing that you come to learn is that she has a sort of a soft spot for Calm.
He'd probably try to embarrass Colm in many ways, but playfully, so she could have interaction with him.
Certainly. And Calm, however, is amongst many things as thick as a brick. So a lot of them, he's like, she needs to see me for something. All right. And he goes up and, hello. All right. Good day. And he sort of wanders off again, completely oblivious to anything that's going on. And I say this only as that they fit you for the suit as well, making sure that it is comfortable in colors and a fit that is something that you would enjoy. There are many questions about cultural differences, if there's any particular attire that your people would wear, or anything like
He politely tells them he's from Dublin.
that. The most offensive thing that they give you is the bowler hat. No, that's fine. Although you do notice that it's a dark, like a dark green to the point of almost being black, but you can see just a faint shimmer in the material that gives the indication that it is a green there. And last but never the least, more like waited with bated breath, we have Liz, who has spent this entire week doing anything in particular.
She would have contacted her sister, since she had a fancy party to go to, and her sister is much more fashionable than she is. So LeBlanc would have been in town to help her find a dress, and it is one of the reasons why she is now wearing a corset, because apparently women do that or did that, and she hates it. But she's wearing one right now, but not for the party. Probably, who knows? She doesn't like it.
So your sister appears, and you all get to meet the uh, the sister to Lysandra. Walking around the town, it is very normal and very much a just kind of a blah week. There is not a lot of activity. There's not anything exciting that goes on. However, as the railway pulls in and you are standing on the platform ready to board the train, Calm appears carrying his ever faithful collapsible accordion um, case with him, along with a valise that he has. He looks. He doesn't look like his normally well put together self. He seems disheveled. The buttons on his long coat are slightly askew. He looks as though he hasn't slept, and every once in a while you see him. It looks as though he's checking his watch, his wristwatch, when he is yawning into his arm. Um, you guys board the train. The porters take and put your baggage in stowage, and you are escorted to a very luxurious car that is going to seat all of you. Um, and it's very comfortable. It's the kind that has like where you can stretch your feet out across it. It's a very nice car for the lot of you. He shuffles in carrying his accordion uh, case with him, and just kind of like falls into the seat next to you, looking again disheveled and tired as normal, or not as abnormal as it is to see that.
You all right there, Combe?
Yeah, I'm fine. Just a few distractions outside of all the norm. I'm just a bit done in, if you will. I'm sure the train ride through the beautiful European countryside will do me wonders. Thank you for asking.
If you need to take a nap, we'll watch over your folder.
Yes. And he kind of like clutches it to him a little bit. A nap sounds like a wonderful thing. I think I'll just lay my head here. And the train lurches forward, and immediately he kind of sits up. Maybe I'll wait until we get fully going. So, are you all excited? Are you prepared? No. Excellent. Well, so let me explain what we're going into. Sorry. So, the party invite came out of nowhere, but at the behest of a friend of mine. Well, not so much a friend as a boss, if you will. Austin Mansley, who represents the directorate and also my superior, has requested our presence. His friend, Duke Vokesha, sent us the invitation at his request and behest. There's apparently something going on along the Hungarian border where Duke Vokesha rules over that area. He lives in an area known as Orde. There is something going on in a nearby town. He would like our discretion in assistance in this. The party is surely to be a not significant, but also not insignificant occurrence. The interesting thing about Mansley is that his position he got because of his relatives. Are all of you familiar with the name Atwal? Admiral Atwal? History checks.
I was going to say, am I?
History checks.
Yikes. Oh, not
That's
bad.
a dirty 20.
Okay. Dirty 20 for Moonin. Gedge,
12.
12.
Are we rolling?
History check.
I got an 18.
Okay. Okay. Actually, yes, it was actually really low, but this is kind of common knowledge. After the infamous Columbus expedition, where the only part was a small handful of the men and one of the ships to return, another expedition to the new world, so to speak, was sent out. At the helm of this fleet of ships was Admiral Barnabas K. Atwal. He was the only his fleet of ships actually returned from what is now known as the uncolonized or the new world. He spoke of the bountiful lands and the people there who were stern, but also were able to show kindness. And they traded with him and allowed him to sup at their tables. Though they don't worship a civilized god, and that they do worship the land itself. He goes on to tell you, remember that he talked about the men, some of the men got out of hand, and he tried to treat us with them to allow him to exact a fitting punishment. However, that was met with some very stalwart and staunch opposition. Not wanting to create or cause an incident, Atwal turned them over to the hands of the locals as it is their land. He says there, whenever asked about it further, he would always just get kind of a faraway look and simply state that they were returned to the earth from which they were birthed. And that's all he will say about it. However, because of his success in establishing kind of a trade route across the Atlantic, he is touted as a national hero for England. And Mansley is like a distant relative or a relative to him, not a distant relative, but a relative of his. So Mansley is part of the directorate because of Colm feels that it's because of his familial ties as opposed to any sort of true merit.
Okay.
But so yes, you are familiar with the term of Barnabas or the name Barnabas K. Atwall. So, as I was saying, he's a bit of a stuffed shirt. Very much one for pomp and circumstance. He's literally, though, he has his upsides. Any of those requisition forms you've ever filled out, the reason that we have the money is because of his elbow rubbing. So, if my boss says, bring your troop with you, we have a special case, I am not one to argue with him. So, yay, we're going to Romania.
To work off his macaroons somehow, right?
Does anyone
That's
here
true.
speak Romaine or Gypsy or whatever
Romani?
that people speak?
It is actually part. So after World War One, that area, what is now Hungary and part of Romania and all of that, was part of the Austria-Hungary, the Ottoman Empire, the Austria-Hungary Empire, and they actually speak. At this point in time, it's a lot of German mixed in there with other languages as well. So, nerding out on history a little bit, before it was Romania, it was actually a conglomerate of different areas known as Wallachia, as well as Transylvania and things like that. They were brought in, part of it was brought into the Austria-Hungary Empire later after World War One, and the treatises were made. It was lumped in as Romania, and it became Wallachia became the empire or the kingdom of Romania, and then now it's just Romania. So, anyways, there you go. That's your history lesson for today. So a lot of what they speak would be Austrian or something along those lines. But the train ride is boring on almost honestly with all of the other things that have been going on in your life recently within the last few weeks. This is the tame. This is the nicest thing that's happened as it takes you through the countryside of Europe. You have to
How's
take a couple of
Colm
stops.
doing on his word search?
Oh,
How far has he gotten in his side project?
oddly enough, Colm is sleeping quite a bit. Like
if he needed someone to like rest on, Emrys I would have sat beside him so he could just.
he is he has a pillow propped against, and he is just like laying there. When you're not in your private car or one of you are out in the dining car, he is actually like lying across the bench, like sleeping. And the train ride, which takes quite a bit of time, he actually seems to be just sleeping the entire time.
Liz would probably be across from him because she doesn't really want to go and see the rest of the train or anything. And in between reading the various novels that she has brought with her, she is also working on new word searches. Some of them Arabic, and some of them Elvish, and some of them a mixture of both.
Okay. Somewhere in the mountains through let's see, somewhere in the mountain ranges as you guys are heading into Hungary. Um, you pass through what is Budapest, and the train makes a stop as it's made many a stops. Um, Colm seems to wake up for a moment and look around in surprise, asking where you're at. Where have we stopped?
Spain.
Budapest, I think.
Uh, Good, then we shouldn't be on the train for much longer. Then he looks at his watch again, and he seems to be passive perceptions from everybody in the car. What is your passive perception scores?
17.
15.
12.
Gedge?
19.
19. Okay. Clerics. As though he has gotten sleep, he does not seem rested. He doesn't seem as like he's not yawning as much, but he still doesn't seem like he is rested.
Colm, are you feeling well?
Fit as a fiddle. Yes. Why do you ask? Do I not look all right?
No, you look like shit.
Oh. Thank you, I suppose. Reminding myself that tact is not your forefront. I'm sorry. I'll be fine. I just need to get some sleep.
You've been sleeping this whole time.
You did say we were in Budapest. That's unusual. I have been asleep quite a bit, and I still don't feel rested. It's as though I'm chasing something that I can't catch.
How long have you been feeling that way? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Liz would look over at Gedge and go, I remember last time that Colin was not feeling well due to drink, but not feeling well. You had a little something for him. Do you think that would help today?
It might. I'd like to cast Lesser Restoration on Colm.
All right.
As he once again grabs the bird skull that he wears around his neck, and he very gently touches Colm, says a couple words in Gaelic, and casts a spell.
All right. He coughs a moment and he looks at you and smiles. It is a weak and tired thing. But he pats your hand and says, "Thank you, old boy. I'm feeling a bit better.
Maybe a nap will help this time.
We'll see." And he leans back again, crossing his arms. And as the train sets out one more time, having offloaded anyone that it needed to and loaded on some new folks, Calm once again settles into a quiet snooze. The train ride takes you one more day, and as it does, it finally arrives at the destination there in Romania. It's a beautiful countryside with large pines and coniferous trees. You can also see some older, larger deciduous trees. It's a very comfortable time of year, as the whole entirety of the thing seems to be dealt with kind of a moderate temperature. As you guys all set out, you are met by a footman who promptly hands Colm a card. He looks at like not a business card, but like a folded card. He opens it up and he smiles and he says, "Well, we've been invited to have our stay cared for by the Duke himself. We're to be staying at one of the finer hotels here in city. So we're to follow him, and all things will be taken care of. Our bags will be arriving after us, of course. So lead the way, old man. And with that, you are escorted to a very fine-looking manor. Um, the gardens outside are well manicured. You can see that there are a lot of people that are coming and going, even though it is bustling. It is in kind of like the city proper. You are each guided to your own individual room where you can set out your things. The rooms have big, opulent beds, and they each have their own water closet and are all taken care of. So each one has its own restroom and shower, the amenities that you would expect to see in a place like this. It's very comfortable and it's very cozy, even though it's very spacious looking. Colm drops a few bills into the man's hand. He looks at it oddly before like pocketing it. And you watch as Colm just kind of like wanders in without saying another word and shuts the door. Your things are brought around to your room, and you are once again addressed, each one of you individually, by the footman, who tells you that the party is this evening. He tells you what time that he will be by to gather you. He says that he'll gather you at 7 o'clock. The party will be starting at 7:30, so that way we can arrive in time. And you're expected to dress in a certain manner. Of course, he tells you you're to be dressed in finery, which you've all been taken care of. He tries to talk to Colm, but when he knocks on the door, there's no answer from Colm's room.
Before Liz goes into her room, she looks over at Emerus, considering that he has been staying with Colm for most of the time that they've been in rooms together. I'm normally not perceptive about people, but I don't think that Colm is okay. I think you could check on him, and I'm going to go and get dressed for the party, and then I'll go and check on him.
Of course, I can do that. I'll go and knock on the door a couple times. I'll
No
wait.
answer.
Don't get an answer, and I will consider picklocking the the lock if it's locked.
It is locked.
I don't have the intention of like going in and waking him. If I can picklock, take a quick peek inside. If he's sleeping, I would just let him sleep, kind of thing, and I would just go back and give Lysandra that message.
Okay.
But I'll try and
All right.
picklock it.
Just boots the
You-
door in. You asleep?
Just heel into the door. Just boom. You
Hello.
awake? You are now. You awake? You are now.
Hey, we need to get ready. Come on.
Hmm.
I'll do your
Wake
hair.
up,
It's fine.
Wake up, sleepy.
Wake up, CP boy.
Why
Wake up.
are you sleeping? Just picks him up by the collar, starts shaking him. Why are you sleeping?
Why are you sleeping? What kind of roll do you? Sorry.
Do you have proficiency in sleight of hand?
Yes, I do.
Then, unless you have expertise in picking locks, thieves' tools.
Have thieves' tools. Let me double check because I feel like I might. I do have expertise in thieves' tools.
Okay, so you're going to go D20
Okay.
plus proficiency
Okay.
plus D20 plus proficiency plus dexterity modifier,
Okay.
and then half your proficiency again. So, or
Okay.
no, double your proficiency. Sorry.
Okay. So right now it's a so a +7. $23.
Okay, so yeah, it would be proficiency doubled, so it would be 4 plus your dex mod.
Which is 3.
Okay, so 7. Yeah, so
Yeah,
you're good.
and
there.
I rolled a
That's
16.
it. You rolled a 16, so 23 total. Yep, you easily and deftly picked this lock. You ease the door open.
Mhm.
All right. Peering inside, still dressed from the road, his boots or his shoes kicked off. Colm is laying down, face down on the bed across the way. You can see the accordion file that he is so well known for is sitting on the bed next to him, and he is just like laid on the bed like this. And he is slap out.
Completely slapped out. Okay. I'll go in a little bit. I just
Mhm.
want to check on him just to make sure it's like
That
sleeping.
he ain't
Okay.
dead.
But yeah, I'm like, I'd like to check for a pulse, please. Sir? Calm. Hello?
Why are you hurting our baby?
Not trying to. Oh, wait, no, Cap.
Drink up, Kittles.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for a little giving for the hydrate. Don't forget, you guys can collect your Twitch points, or you can redeem claws to give these guys boons and stuff like that.
I just finished my tea.
Speaking of, we still
Yeah,
have a
man.
rollover from last week from Raymond.
That's right, you do. That's
We've
right.
got a party boon floating there.
All right. He does have a pulse. He's okay. He's alive.
It's
But
good.
he just seems completely done in.
All right. Weird that I want to tuck him in.
Aw.
You know, I'll move the folder off of the bed. And
It's surprisingly light.
Look in and see if it goes to another plane of existence. The accordion folder of holding.
Do you open the accordion folder and look in?
it's later than expected, so like if it's already kind of open, I'll take a little sneak peek.
I mean, it's got a little latch, like a little leather latch on it that you
Okay.
can undo. It is not undone.
As much as I'm tempted, I wouldn't. Okay.
But it
Emirates wouldn't.
feels almost almost empty.
So if it's
when you-
it's got a lid, can I like? I'll like push open the side just to see how much paperwork is in there, if I
Sure.
can.
Yeah, as you do, there is nothing within it. There's no paperwork. It seems like it's empty.
Pocket dimension confirmed.
You feel a slight like, and Colm is lying there on his side, just kind of like his eyes half opened as he looks at you and goes, "What are you doing?
Oh, I was just checking on you. You're
Go back to sleep." Just takes the pillow and moves it over slightly.
go to sleep. Go to sleep.
You need sleepies.
I was just checking on you. I was worried.
Oh,
I was hoping you
Yeah.
had the paperwork on the vampires from before, so I figured I would just.
Oh.
I remembered what it looked like, so I was just going to see.
Of course. Hold on. And he kind of turns and sits up and kind of rubs at his eyes.
Mhm.
Yes. And he takes he takes the accordion file and opens it. And as he starts to rummage his fingers through there, he pulls out a folder that's about that big.
Oh,
And he
And-
says, "It's a bit of information has been added thanks to the Home Office and information that they've gathered when you started making not accusations, but thoughts that they might be some sort of vampiric activity. They did some research, and there you are." And he hands you the folder, which is a little thicker than in size than what it was, but it seems to be mostly just banal information.
perfect. Thank you, Colm. I I didn't want to wake you. I apologize for waking you.
Hmm. He looks at his watch and he says, oh, it's time to get ready anyways. Well, I'll see you in a few moments. And he stands and kind of like wiggles his toes in his socks, you know. Yeah, this floor is dreadful. It is. It's a hardwood floor throughout, so it's like cold.
Cold,
Uh,
little slippery.
A little cold. He just eats it in the middle of the.
No.
The accordion file goes everywhere. Just like paper pours out like a deluge. Just no, he kind of ushers you not unkindly towards the door so that he can get ready.
Okay. See you in a bit. Home.
Of
Thank you.
course.
Give a little shake of the papers.
Oh yes, of course. You're quite welcome. And with that, you all get ready as it is getting close to time. He meets you all downstairs along with the footman who comes to collect you individually. And he is dressed really nicely. He has on coat and tails and he has gloves on. You all, of course, look as dapper as hell. And you are escorted with the footman who offers his arm to Liz as you are brought out to the automobile with which you will be taken to the manor where the party is being held. The ride there is a very short one. You arrive just about on time. You're just a few moments late. As you exit the vehicle all comfortably, you are then escorted each individually by a servant or staff member up to the door where you are announced with as Colm, Haim, and guests. Colm enters in, pulls the gloves off, and you can see that the large ballroom where this is being held is not packed. It's probably staff and servants included, only about 60 people, and that's everybody. But you get the idea that the people that are here, it's not accidental. Colm starts making comments about some of the people that are here, and it's other members of the directorate, but like from other countries, um, new dignitaries and new diplomats, like some from the new established country of Latvia, some from Luxembourg, some from other places around, so that it's kind of like he's getting to know, or the Duke is getting to know some of the more influential people that are making a rise in politics. And you all are escorted to a table where your names are out on tents, and you can see that there is a stockily built man with a completely bald head and clean shaven face. He has round glasses, and he seems to be fitted to his suit, but only just kind of thing. He stands, and again, like I said, he is a barrel chested individual. He's only about 5'6" or 5'7". So you get the indication that there might be some dwarven heritage in there, but you're not really sure. He shakes Colm's hand, his big mitt engulfing Colm's more dainty hand in his grip. Colm, my boy, it's good to see you. I take it you're faring well. Yes, Orson, I'm faring quite well, thank you. And who are these people? Are these your folks? And he turns and offers his hand to Emrys. Orson Mansley.
Shake his hand. Emrys Amor.
Ah, Emrys Amor, Italian?
French, actually.
Ah, excellent. I like the French. Good food. You can see his nose is a little bit large and red. giving the indication that he does indeed enjoy the food and drink of certain places. But you get the idea and the indication that it's probably not anywhere in particular from the country of here's a free drink. He turns and looks to Gej and marvels at you for a moment. I say, are those tusks you've there, boy?
Sir.
Ah, Orson Mansley.
Gajaldra Venturis, but you can call me Gej.
I would hope so. Couldn't pronounce it otherwise. Is that a bit of an accent?
Aye, it is.
From the northern part or the southern?
I'm from Dublin.
Well, Colm will vouch for you, so you must be all right. Take no offense at us old black and tans, if you will.
No offense taken, sir.
Ah,
Friends here, right?
indeed. Especially when there's a party. Ah, and he offers his hand to Moonin. Orson Mansley.
I'll shake his hand back. Moonin Logason.
I'm catching you're from Scandinavia, then.
Family is.
Ah, well, glad to have you. Any friend of Colm's is a friend of mine. I hope you enjoy this evening. And then he turns at last and stops. Whoa. A beauty befitting I should have introduced myself to you first. And he offers his hand a bit more daintily, taking yours and planting a rather wet kiss on the back of your hand. Oh, said Mansley, and who are you, lovely?
I am Lysandra, but everyone calls me Liz.
Do you mind if I call you Liz as well?
Depends. Are we going to be friends?
I'd like that very much. And not within eyesight of Orson, but you can definitely watch as Colm just kind of just lets out that deep, just uncomfortable sigh about him. Well, the festivities will begin soon, so please take your seats, enjoy the hospitality of the Duke. And Orson makes his exit, seems to go towards like the head table. You can see a man in looks to be in his 40s, like mid to late 40s. You absolutely can. Seems to be a man in his mid to late 40s who is sitting there, and he's dressed in finery that looks a little bit removed from everybody else. As Orson walks up and shakes his hand, he motions back to your table. He claps his hands together like in excitement. And then they have a bit more conversation before Mansley kind of nods and wanders back towards your table to sit down. What were you looking for in that insight check?
Trying to discern what type of man he is, if he's actually genuine with what he's saying, or just kind of trying to feel him out.
He is 100% the diplomat. You also get the indication that he is earnest in what he's saying, but you can get the idea that he will schmooze with the best of them. If you want someone to get money for a project or something, he's the kind of guy that you want to have there. He is definitely a douchebag, but he's a douchebag in the best ways, I guess.
So Lysandra wants to do two things. First, she'd like to know if there are any more elves in the room, and the second one is she's gonna tap Emerus and just be like, "It's okay, even though that you're French, I like you."
Decidedly, there are not any other elves. You and Gej are quite the spectacle, as the rest of the room seems to be filled with humans. The party goes on for the evening, and people are moving around. Calm points out a few individuals. That's so and so from this. That's another person from that. Eventually, you are approached by the Duke himself, who asked to have a word with you in private, if you would. Orson is there and nods at Calm, and Calm kind of looks at you all. He seems a bit more refreshed, but he still seems a bit put out, a little tired. Eventually, though, the lot of you, along with the Duke and the Duchess, are led back to a private study. He sits down and says, I understand from our friend that you can help me. There is a small happenings in a city that is not too far from here. Solanta is the name. There is a talk of a person there that is not quite normal. They say that people have run him off, but he still lumbers about. The rumors are too varied to be identified as what is true and what is not. Suffice it to say, any sort of assistance from a group such as yours would be greatly appreciated.
That's what we're here for.
As there is still a lot of unrest in this area, I would prefer discretion to be used, if at all possible.
Where we can, it will be.
Marvelous. I understand that our friend, Mr. Hem, appreciates a requisition form, but I must ask you, is there anything in particular that you would need to undertake this task? I would be happy to outfit you with anything that you need. And he kind of like motions behind you, and the footman from earlier comes in. He is pushing like a dolly, um, and it's got a box on it and a couple of others. You can see one of the boxes is long, and you're very familiar with it. It is a box used to carry munitions, and as he opens it up, you can see rifles in there, specifically Lee Enfield.
You bet
5,
that's going to be the box
7
I walk up
magazines.
to.
It is a 7. It holds 7 rounds and this time I'm saying it right, not a magazine. It is a clip because it uses an actual push-in clip. But it holds 7 rounds in the clip before you hear that wonderful picking and flips out there. But yes, there is a Lee Enfield bolt-action rifle. Mounted to the top of it is a short range scope, so it's like 3 times magnification. Basically, it extends the range of the rifle.
Sure, that would
I'm
just
sorry.
be.
I'm sorry. You have not specified, other than odd and lumbering, what sort of thing we're dealing with. So how can we know what to ask for if we don't know what we're up against?
The stories that we have heard are that it is a giant, or perhaps it is just a rather large man. Some say that it lumbers about in the fields, and others say that it moves with the speed of a cat. There may not be anything at all. It may be simple children at play, for all I know. However, if there is something more serious, then by all means, we definitely want to have you involved to put a stop to these things.
Is there a particular area where it shows up more often than others, or is it random?
It seems to be that it does not like to wander into town. It keeps itself apart from things. check the farms in neighboring areas. I'm sure there will be all manner of things to be seen.
Has it primarily been at night, these sightings, or during the day?
At night,
At this point, she would look over to Colm and try to ask as politely as she can, um, do you think the Duke would have any sort of books that you might know of that we might need?
Colm just kind of. This doesn't ring a bell of any sort in my head. In all the studies that I've done, I'm not quite sure what we're looking for or looking at. Could be anything. Could be um, any sort of ghosty or goblin, or like he said, it could be simply children at play, torturing others. It's something that we would have to investigate further. Did you agree?
Has it ever attacked anyone or anyone gotten a close look at it?
At this point in time, no one has been attacked. We fear that it is only a matter of time. We do know there is one report of a farmer who says he got close enough to it. It was at his barn, as though it were looking for something. He chased it with a torch. It ran from him. He said that at first it loped forward as though its feet were too large for its body, and then when it got moving, he said it was exceedingly quick. Uh, I don't know what to make of this. All I can tell you is that there might be cause for alarm in the ability for me to keep the people of this land safe. So you understand that I would like this to be taken care of as quickly as possible, yes?
Absolutely.
Orson, who is in there with you, says, "Of course, my Duke, we've got this. Slot will take care of it, won't you all? Consider it in good hands. Now, if you'll excuse me, the Duke and I have some business to discuss. Well, and you are summarily ushered out. The dolly with the munitions and ammunition rolled out behind you. There are two of the Lee Enfield rifles with the scopes on them. There is an entire case of ammunition for that, which is I think it's like 120 rounds or so. It's just like what you need. Um, the footman, who has yet to name himself other than he just does his job, also instructs you that there is another item waiting for you outside that can be used by anyone. It is simply point and pull the trigger. Um, Calm looks around the party and recognizes the reason that you all were pulled there and seems to be a bit put out by the whole situation. Does not put his gloves back on as he walks hastily towards the door, allowing himself to leave the room. So Calm is just kind of like out the door.
I'm going to look over the two rifles and see which one looks in better condition and grab that.
You get the indication that these are never been used.
Mm.
These are brand new. They are well cared for.
And that would just be what, as far as D&D Beyond, that's a hunting rifle?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Liz looks at the footman and goes, lately we have needed children's storybooks almost, or folk tales. Are there any that you could recommend or let us borrow for the time that we are here? We promise to return them with, oh, hopefully, not that much blood on them.
I have been instructed to give you everything that you need. I would be happy to provide these for you. And he kind of not really clicks his heels, but gives you a very sharp bow before wandering off. Stretch! Oh my goodness, I didn't realize I needed that. Thank you. Oh,
Always lovely.
hang on, I got my head against the shelf. I want that book right there.
The brown one or the like gold?
That one. That one.
The
right
dark
there.
gold. Okay. It's a good choice. I'll agree to it.
One of these days, you're just gonna freak out if I reach back there and just like pull the book off the
I
shelf.
would literally die because I would love it so much.
We're waiting for it, Cap.
Um,
New project.
oh,
Sorry.
sorry.
Just
Let's look
hide
over
a
at-
book back there, covered in like a green cloth or something, so you can just like
Yeah.
book.
Or put it on a green shelf where it matches up perfectly. Going,
I feel like I have a book that kind of looks like that.
So what is Liz doing?
Liz wants to look over at Moonin and go, that's an awful lot of ammunition for one thing, right?
There's 2 rifles.
I only took like
But it's still
half
up
of the
for
ammunition.
the one for.
Oh, yeah, to take down one thing. Oh, yeah, that's a lot of ammunition.
Depends on what you're shooting.
Or
And
how
where
well
you're
you're shooting.
Or
And how well you're
shooting.
shooting.
I was about to say, I don't think I'm a great shot.
Moonin
Nobody
has
else.
no question in his aim. It's more what you're shooting. Sometimes it takes more ammo.
I don't think I'll be a particularly good shot, but if nobody else is going to take the other one, I'll grab it.
I've had my fill of rifles.
Have you ever shot a rifle, Emrys?
I'd like to say yes.
He'd like to say yes, but he's not going to lie to you either.
I mean, I probably could lie to you without an issue.
Ooh.
That's all fine and dandy till I watch you shoot it and go, yeah.
You fire it, and he just reaches over and takes that and goes, thank you. I'll just
You don't need
go
two of
with
them.
that."
No, I'm gonna take.
Ah!
He's got a rifle under each arm. He's, "Ah." Say hello to my
I
little
knew I
friend." He
took this
fires-
feat for a reason.
He fires and goes, shit, I can't maneuver the bolts.
That's
Shit.
when you get the holster modified, so I could just like.
It's just- you keep the holsters so you can just pull them up and just do the bolts and then
You just
fire
do a
again.
cross, pull the bolts
Yeah.
back, and keep going.
That's a
You've
good question.
You've
ahead.
replaced them all with the standard bolt with a speed bolt,
Mhm.
which basically it's just a straight back and forward. So you just dunk. All right, sorry.
Don't come at me like that,
Anyways,
Deca. I see you.
all right.
I will let Emrys know if he hasn't shot a gun or a rifle. I would be happy to show him how to use it.
If anything, I will take the time to listen to Moonin talk about rifles for a bit, try and retain the knowledge.
Liz goes, please don't shoot your eye out. They're very difficult to heal, and it will make it incredibly difficult to shoot after that.
It's a lot harder to shoot your own eye with a rifle.
I mean, if I shoot my foot, then we have an issue.
Yeah. Just
But
don't look
I
down
know-
the front end of it.
Easy.
I know.
Don't shoot your eye.
Don't
I've
monkey
already got
around
a
with
scar
it.
on my eye. I'll be fine.
I already have
Whatever.
learned
I tend to
that
keep
lesson.
everything away from my face normally, so
Yes, equilibrium
Yes.
style gun fu, but with bolt action rifles. You just butt stroking people, hitting them with the barrel, loading around and firing.
I just need to take like a level or two in monk, and
There you go. Use it as a
just go
bow
nuts.
staff and fire it at the same time.
Barrel stuff.
Bang.
Yep.
Oh,
You're doing the oh god, the rifle cadre, you know, where they like take and spin the rifle brigade, where they spin the
Mhm.
rifles and stuff. But it's a full kata and then fire it into somebody.
Performance
Why
check.
do you have a hook?
Attack roll.
Why do you have a hook mounted color guard? Thank you. Why do you have a hook mounted to the front of that? He reaches out and grabs this dude's head and then shoots the guy behind him.
I'm about it.
Oh,
You're
that
giving
would
me
so
awful
disorient
ideas.
that would disorient the hell out of the dude that you had the hook around.
Mhm.
But Moonin, that's what we're doing next for your rifle, yeah?
It's like, what did you do with your week of downtime? Well, let me tell you, Cap.
I made a friend with an artificer in a machine shop, and we had some fun.
Now I've got a polling hook on the front of this thing. So if I want to trawl in a net or hook a mother.
Yeah. But no, I
Okay.
would give Emerus a run. Once we are out of the party, I would give Emerus a rundown on
And just
rifle.
walking through the party going, so this is how you end.
Yeah. No, we're at a fancy party. I mean, I've slung the rifle over my back in my suit, but like I've got an ammo case in one hand and the gun over my shoulder, but you know, I'm not pointing it around.
Can I give the audience inspiration? Because that was a really good Final Fantasy reference right there.
Please.
All right.
I think we should just push the cart out and just be like, fuck you guys.
Just roll in the
You don't want us
cart.
here anyway.
there,
I
there
mean-
is still something outside we should go and see, should we not?
They did tell us we could have what we wanted. We could just take the whole cart.
Put me in the cart and then push me at whatever the creature is. It's just an idea.
I
Solid
don't think
plan.
that. What are you gonna do? Take the bullets and throw them?
Yeah.
Just chucking the bullets at him.
I mean,
that's how it
the
works.
cart could hit him in the knee and he could be down on the ground. And then I just stab him. It's fine.
Fair.
Those hurt.
Fair.
Well, shopping carts hurt, but
Hitting right in the ankle, like right the Achilles heel with the shopping cart.
With a
Yep.
razor scooter.
Oh, with a razor. Why are you that mean? That's just rough.
I felt that statement. My
Like,
leg
my
just
knees
immediately
and my
hurt.
legs hurt. I gotta go now.
Ooh, I cannot tell you times I was a victim of a razor scooter. I thought I was cool.
You were trying to spin it, weren't you, from the front
Yep.
tire? Yeah, just clipped yourself. Mm-mm. Now that we're completely off topic,
So
outside.
we should probably go see what
Wait,
the point and shoot thing is.
Before we move on, apparently the razor scooters weren't invented until 2000. But I'm just so surprised that they're like that young, because I assumed that like we would have had scooters at least since the 80s, but nope, they're only like 20 years old.
But the razor scooters were the bloodthirsty ones. There may have been other scooters, but those ones were out for blood.
And they got it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's a cryptid out there made out of a razor scooter.
Oh, what are
There
those
could
now?
be. Stay
There's-
tuned for Wednesday to find out what it's called.
Oh, Jesus.
What are those
Aw,
things?
if he wasn't listening.
All right, what's outside?
Okay. As you get outside, sitting next to the car that has been pulled up, you see what appears to be a metal backpack. Attached to the metal backpack is a hose. The hose leads to a simple device about that long. It's got a handle on the front and a handle on the back with a simple trigger. At the front end of that is a simple, not currently lit, pilot light.
Lish just looks over at Moonin and goes, "We're supposed to be killing this thing with a flamethrower and a ton of ammunition. Is anyone else slightly worried about it not just being children at play?"
I'm gonna
No, just
look
me.
look at Liz and go, you know, what about what we've been given says discretion?
That too, but I mean, to be fair, and then she looks over at Gedge and then like looks back at herself and just like shrugs.
You were going to say something, Gesh?
Guy's just gonna light a cigarette and just look at this thing.
Do you want it? I got the rifle. Emerus has the other rifle.
I'd be
I
like,
can't have a rifle and a flamethrower. If you want to use it, by all means.
Wait. Emrys has a rifle. I've got a rifle. You've got a flamethrower, and Liz has common sense. Let's go.
Let's not forget that Liz was the one that was like, let's just light the house on fire.
If we
How
had a
much
flamethrower,
easier? I was
easier.
just saying, if you had a flamethrower at that time, how
Mhm.
much easier would that have been?
House would have been gone.
I enjoy this layout and what's happening. Let's see where this goes.
Can we leave this fucking party?
I mean, Liz is 100% down for fucking shit up and for giving Gedge a flamethrower because that seems like a great idea. She's not okay with giving an Emrys a rifle though. She's all like, you need lessons. But get
I will
flamethrower is
show
perfectly
him
fine.
how to use it.
I like
I-
that. Gedge flamethrower, no problem. Emrys rifle, you're gonna hurt yourself.
I'm pretty sure I have probably shot a rifle before. Just don't have memory of it currently.
It sounds a whole lot like you've not shot a rifle before. Can you tell me how to load it?
Not me! Emrys could,
Not-
I swear.
Not Quentin, no. Emrys, yeah.
Emrys does know how to load it.
I'd like to
I
say
mean-
I've shot a rifle, probably.
Yeah, all of
Okay.
you, all of you at one point in time were involved in the Great War.
Yes, I'm trying to prove to Liz that Emrys at least knows how to operate the gun.
Just because they're not my normal go-to for combat doesn't mean I haven't fought with guns before.
Okay.
Just because I prefer to sneak up and stab a
Stab
motherfucker
somebody.
in the carotid doesn't mean that I don't know how to shoot them from a great
Exactly.
distance in the carotid.
I prefer the quick and easy rather than the loud and noisy. They're both the same thing, but you know.
I prefer loud and far away. Gives you more time if you miss.
Liz just shakes her head and just is all like, I was a medic. I didn't do the fighting. And it's now technically a war crime to fight me.
There you go. Did you not see the band with the cross on it? Asshole.
Ooh.
I will make your death very slow, very painful, and you will be puking your guts out the entire time. Don't fuck with me.
I'm just reading chat. I'm trying to figure out what the hell Carl is talking about. You
Guns,
tickle
man.
the bottom whisker thingy, and the round pointy end goes in the other guy. Yeah, I mean, okay.
This is correct. How could you refute that?
I mean, it's proof right there. So you have a flamethrower, you have 2 rifles, and a bunch of ammunition.
For the guns as well, you gave us proficiency for the smaller ones. Would we have proficiency for the rifles as well?
Only one of you has proficiency with the rifles.
That's fine. I was
said
just
you were
curious.
involved. That doesn't necessarily mean.
I asked to ask because you gave it to us for the revolvers.
Okay, the bottom whisker thingy is probably a trigger. Yes, now that makes sense. But you are correct.
But that's
That
a
is the
cursed
worst
way to
fucking
describe
way
it.
to describe it. And now forever I'm going to tell my friends, no, that's called the bottom whisker thingy.
I can literally hear just enough wrong groaning through the chat. Even though he's not typing, he's a gun nut. I can feel it.
There's just a bunch
Yep,
of us going.
there he is.
Yeah.
I know you're in there.
Okay. He's just. Are you just sitting there with your hand in your head in your hand, just like, oh my god, you people? All right.
Oh man.
Calm
So
takes a look at everything and just kind of shakes his head as you are piling into your vehicle. The footman comes carrying a small like satchel, like messenger bag kind of thing, to which he hands off to Liz.
She takes it and thanks him, um, and goes, hopefully we won't need anything else, as she looks around at the party members, and their flamethrower and rifles. Um, and hopefully this should be done by week's end. And then proceed to get into the car.
Bang bang, motherfuckers. All right. The driver. Yep, exactly.
She then
walking
gets
up
out
to
of the
this
car and
poor
just,
driver.
have sweets, do you? Any like sweets of this area that we could also have before we leave that can be sent to our rooms? My room particularly.
Speak to room service. I am certain they will get you what you ask for. And with that, he bows politely as you are driven back to your hotel, where you, without anybody batting an eye because you're carrying rifles and a flamethrower, are easily able to take that through the middle of this very posh hotel straight up to your rooms. And again, other than a few glances, no one's going to open their mouths simply for the fact that you look like you might use those things on them.
You just have to look like you are going somewhere, like carrying a ladder through a business. If you look like you know what you're doing, they're just gonna let you go where you're gonna go.
So the Lee Enfields are notorious for having the straps on them.
Mm-hmm.
I could just see you holding it across your body, but you've taken and thrown the wrap around your arm. So you're just walking through the middle of this with this rifle, the point toward the ground, wrapped up like you're ready to just swing it around at any second and fire on somebody. And people are just kind of like,
Is this a robbery? Not a robbery? We're good? Okay. We're good?
Also, has Colin said anything in the car, or is he still upset that he's not climbing the social ladder?
he seems like he's very quiet. He has not said anything in the ride. He doesn't seem tired anymore, but he definitely doesn't appear to be as calm as he normally is.
Be cool, honey bunny.
Funny enough, I'm watching Community and I watched the episode where Jeff staged the Pulp Fiction party for Abed. And that's all I can think when he said that is all I can think about now. Be cool, anybody. All right.
Colm, I know you're gonna get tired of me asking this, but are you alright?
No.
You wanna talk about it?
Orson
wanna get some
Mansley
flamethrowers?
is. No, I don't. I'm not one for violence. That's
Who
somebody
said there
else's
had
job.
to be violence? It's quite liberating just to shoot up. Just don't be around where it falls back down.
I'm quite all right. I'm just. Orson Mansley is a stuffed shirt, pompous ass, and I feel like he's using you all for his own personal gain, if you will. I'm sure he's getting money from the Duke to do such a thing and is parading us around, but I feel as though we're being, well, paraded around. And I'm just a bit done in with all of it, to be perfectly honest with you.
Well, he does seem like quite the schmoozer.
Hmm.
But for everything that we seem to have been brought here for, what we were given, gesturing at the rifles, the flamethrower, we were asked for discretion and given not a lot of discretion to use. I'm not sure what he's sending us towards, because it certainly doesn't seem like what we were told about.
I'm not sure either. But, and that's another thing that bothers me. I don't know anything about this. We don't have any recon done. We don't have any information about anything that's going on. And we're being thrown at this thing as though we're expendable. And we're not expendable.
Well, all the Duke was able to really supply us with was in a neighboring town. There's a weird fellow lumbering around.
Yeah.
One farmer got close and it seemed possibly cat-like. It didn't run very well at first and then went with unusual speed after that.
Yes.
But
well, we do have some information.
it's all very
I'll
I
vague.
start-
have all of the books, so hopefully something in here might be able to help.
Thank you for gathering that. I apologize. I'm out of sorts. It's not normal with me. I've been so tired since we left our home base. I'm not quite sure what's going on. I feel better, but only moderately so.
Is besides the lack of sleep, is there anything else that is ailing you, or anything else that you are feeling unwell with? I think depending on your symptoms, I might have some special teas.
I do like tea, and no, nothing else is ailing me. I like I said, I didn't really feel under the weather, just tired. I will say. Perhaps it was just distance from. Anyways, um, I'll pour over the books that you were lent, as well as pooling the resources that I have at my own hands, and see if I can't come up with something. In the meantime, I think that you should all head over to Salanta and figure out if you can find any information yourselves. I'm hoping that it's nothing major.
Does Colm seem like he's keeping something from us?
Insight check. Insight checking your own man.
He acting kind of weird.
With a plus
Kinda sus.
5 on there, that's a 9.
Seems fine to you,
Yeah.
Moonin. What did you have, Gedge?
Oh, I had not yet.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought you rolled
Liz has a 16.
16.
I'm sort of tempted here.
Okay.
Ooh.
I mean, you don't have to.
No, the 6 I don't. It's fine.
18, 12 plus 6.
Okay. Once again, you two. He does seem like he is not lying, but he is definitely withholding some bit of information or something that is changed.
So I don't know if Emrys would say anything. But Gedge is gonna let like a couple minutes of awkward silence pass by. Or just like silence pass by. You know we're a team, right, Colm?
Of course.
You know you can trust us, right, Colm?
Of course.
You want to tell us what's really eating at you?
I am not one to. And he kind of flushes, like at the neck. His neck goes a little red. I'm not one to kiss and tell. I will say
Get
that
some sleep.
Miss Temperance is a lovely lady.
Liz cares no more after that. She's just all like, Randy bastard, just get some fucking sleep. Like, it's fine. And she just goes to her room, and she's now like in a huff because she like cared. And she's just,
I've never,
motherfucker, and like takes all the books.
I've never touched. No, I'm not. No, we had dinner, and no, nothing untoward. I'm not. We're not. No, it's nothing like that at all. I walked her home one evening when it was late. You all were out doing things, and we had dinner at the cafe, the one down the street. That serves the wonderful coffees and teas. And we had a conversation, and that's it. I promise, nothing untoward. I don't know. I've been tired as of late. Like I said, I feel much more refreshed than I did, but other than that, that's all. I've just felt tired for some reason, like I've had a lot of work to do or something, and I'm just trying to catch up on all of it. Anyways, I'm going to get a good night's sleep, and I will talk to you all in the morning.
I
And
hope
with-
rest finds you well, Colm.
Thank you. I'll see you all for breakfast.
Aye.
Sounds
And
good.
with that, he turns and kind of bounces up the stairs in more of a calm Haim fashion. And as he takes his rest for the night, we ourselves are going to take a short break to refill our drinks and to stretch our legs and bodies and things like that. Give us about 10 minutes and we will be back. We will see you all at that time. Don't go anywhere. Spread the love that the Troubleshooters are still on the air for at least another hour and a half or so. And until then, we will see you all. Don't forget to hang around after the show to listen to the other song by FX May Vary. It's titled Dire Bear. I don't know what else to call it. That's the title that I have. So, anyways, we'll see you guys in about 10 minutes. Thank you so much. Don't go anywhere. Thank you, everyone, for being patient with us. Somebody had to go get himself a cup of coffee.
Coffee.
That's right. Oh, with my great mug. So, real quick, and then we're going to pick up with the story the following morning. I received a coffee cup. I had some surgery done in my mouth earlier this year in the summertime. A couple of wisdom teeth removed, a lesion, things like that. Nothing major, in and out, a couple hours. A photo was taken. A few weeks later, I receive a mug. Doesn't say who it's from, it just has a Canadian address on it. So my first thought was all my Canadian friends, one of which is sitting in here right now with me. But after asking around, it wasn't from any of them. First, I'll show you the picture. Is this one. This is the mug.
Is amazing.
Oh God.
So this is the mug that I received. And it says, "Is this real life?" Come to find out, it was from my ex-mother-in-law, a friend of mine. And she had sent it to me. She sends me a message. "Did you get my mug?" And I was like, "You're the one that sent that." Okay.
I've been trying to figure this out.
It is one of my two favorite mugs. My other favorite mug. Oh man. Party appreciation twice. Both of them are Liz. So Liz is going to do party appreciation twice.
I guess that's what I get for doing everyone but me. But all right. Let's see. Let's start out with. Okay, since I have to do it twice, I'll do it once for the person and then once for a character, and what I like about the character and what I like about the person.
Great.
So Q, I think you're adorable. Like I think you're so cute. And I just really appreciate all the work that you and Otter do. I think you guys do an amazing job at all of the like technical stuff. Onto Otter, how could you not say how much you like your beard? But besides that, you're just a pretty chill dude. I like it a lot.
The beard's gonna have a show of its own on Fridays.
It should. And then to go to Voodoo, I know I already said adorable to Q, but like I don't know, I think you're just so cute, and like there's a lot of things that you are self-conscious about, and like almost nobody else notices it, and I rarely ever notice it, but when I do, I'm just like, look at that little like adorable little person. I love you so much. Like I love everyone here. And then Cap, I mean, I've known you forever, it seems like. At least 6 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been friends forever, and I mean, I'm coming up to see you in a little less than a month now.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you're amazing. I think you're a tree of a man.
That's a compliment that I don't hear often. A tree of a man.
He's like 6'1" or 6'2". He's just very tall and like wide. Like he's great. So then for characters, Moonin, I think it's great that you just kind of run with Liz and her like we're friends and like we're friends and I'm gonna be friends with you sort of thing. Voodoo, I think what you do with Gej's accent is amazing. I think your tusk is really nice. And then for Emrys, I don't know. Liz just wants to like protect you, even though that you're French. Like she's just like, my
Even though you're French, I like you.
I guess I have a consistency in characters that need to be protected.
Fair enough. I mean, now
wait,
we're having.
I forgot. As a storyteller, sorry. as long as we've been friends, we've also been both sides of the table, and both as a player and as a storyteller, you're just amazing. The things that you do and say are just fantastic. And when you're all like, "Hey, I have a show coming up," and I'm all like, "I don't know what it's about. I don't know what I'm gonna play, but sign me up for that." Like today, even though that Mondays I have school, and like today I had a really big test. I was like, "No, I'm still doing it. I'm still going to D&D later today." So
Well, good. I'm glad to have all of you here. And there's a conversation going on now about tall. So I don't know, but I think one of the best compliments is my favorite mug is the one that sits above your shoulders. And I had to go, what? Oh, this one. I swear to God, I'm smarter than I look.
That's okay.
All
I
right.
was looking to see if there was a mug on your green screen bookshelf.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I did too. I was like, is there a mug on there? Oh, is there a mug there? Oh, I'm stupid. Five,
Uh,
5'1", 5'3". So I guess to all of you folks, I'm tall. To Otter, I'm the same size.
yeah, we're the same height.
Yep.
Feels weird being taller than a lot of people in chat. Feels new to me. Sorry.
That's why we're
I've-
all the time.
My family is decidedly not. Like my brother is like the next tallest person in our family, and he's like 5'10" and a half, 5'11". So it's really funny when we'd get together for family photos and they're all like tall people in the back. It's usually just me with everybody else in front of me. So it's like, oh, okay, this is fun. All right. The next morning. Yeah, what did you want to say? I'm sorry.
Are there windows in these rooms?
There are big floor to ceiling, the kind where you can do the dramatic curtain opening, just and throw them back. Yeah, but big curtains, big heavy curtains. But the bed is like away from them. It's like over in the middle of the room, and it's one of those big, heavy wooden beds.
Oh, there's a window.
All right. All right. The next morning, you find Colm downstairs in the dining hall. He is sitting already with a newspaper in front of him, actually, a couple of them in different languages. He is sitting with a pot of tea, a cup in front of him, and you can see him quietly talking to someone concerning what consists of a full English breakfast. And the explanation that he's really having problems with is getting them to cook beans for him. So they're having a good conversation about this, and he's like, no, like not like a pea, like a truly a bean. No, you understand? You understand bean? Yeah, no, I apologize. I didn't mean no offense. What? Good morning, everyone.
You realize we're in another country, yeah?
I understand, but I can eat like a civilized person, right? Just ask for something simple. How about sausage and eggs and toast? Let's just go something simple. And with that, they nod, get your orders, come around with cups, and after a short period of time, food. He hands you all. He has the newspapers laid out in front of him, and he tells you, and he looks like he is his old self.
Rest found him a little better this last evening.
It seems to have.
Okay.
Good.
Maybe he just doesn't like trains.
Maybe.
Train sick.
This is gonna be kind of weird. Can I use detect poison or detect or it's not detect poison, it's purify food and drink.
I mean, it's pretty purified. I mean, that would get rid of poisons that are in the food. I mean, absolutely, you could.
Yeah.
Okay. Using purified food and drink.
I'm just gonna do it very underhandedly.
Okay, give me a sleight of hand check.
Cool. I have nothing. Oh, never mind.
Staring at the chef as you're just doing magic over the food they handed you.
9.
9.
Mhm.
You start to wiggly fingers. Um, finger tutting, if you ever watch The Magicians. You start the process, and Colm looks at you with one eyebrow arched. Is that something you normally do?
Sometimes.
I
Morning
see.
routine. Don't worry about it.
Win in weird places.
Certainly. So I took the liberty of looking over some of the local papers over the last few days. And he turns some of the papers, and you can see he's got small articles and things in like buried deep in pages circled. Um, most of them seem to be some account of um, missing vegetables, small livestock, nothing big like chicken came up missing, so and so's prized hen, or certain amount of eggs were stolen. But it doesn't seem to be anything like of major report. All of the ones that he has circled come from the same area of around or near the town of Salanta. Salanta. He says, now, given the information that we found last night, it seems that there is something afoot in Salanta. I've taken the liberty of having a car called around for us and a driver to take us there. I figured it would be best if we had somebody of local personnel to take us to the area that we're looking for. Are you all prepared to go soon? Excellent. Well, enjoy your breakfasts. I hope you all slept well. Gesh, the room was okay to your liking.
Hey, yeah, it's fine.
Excellent.
I would have given Emrys a chunk of that ammo for the rifle.
I mean, I would have grabbed whatever ammo was on the cart as well that you didn't take. If I could grab it, I would have grabbed it.
It's a big
was
ammo
a
box.
big box. There's 120 rounds. How many would you like?
I'd let you keep the most of it. Probably just 30 or 40, give or take. Probably a better shot than me, anyway.
So that means you'd want more ammo because he'd hit more often.
So we all know what a magazine is. A magazine has a spring load. You load the round in there and push it down, and it goes down until it holds the capacity that it can. In older rifles, specifically like the Springfield or the Lee Enfield rifle, they had maybe a little box magazine, but most of them used a strip clip or a clip, an ammo clip. And it literally is a piece of metal that holds the rounds in there. And then you just slide them through the top. And that very famous ping sound means you've hit the end of the magazine and the clip is ejected from the either the bottom or the top, depending on the rifle.
Mm-hmm.
So along with your ammo are several of those clips that you can reload by positioning the ammunition into the spot. So that way you can strip load them in faster.
I would have done at least a handful of those over the evening.
Certainly. Doesn't take very long to load them up. These are, I gotta remember how much the Lee Enfield, I think, is a 7-round. Anyways, it holds enough for you to.
Enough for me to reach out and say hi.
Yeah, a few times before you have to.
But look at
All right.
at quite a distance.
Yes, say hello from a range that will definitely ring out and not be forgotten. They're definitely going to feel the impact before they hear the sound. That's how far away you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Love you, Cumina.
That was amazing.
Still only take 40.
Yep, that's fine.
Ooh.
So, anyways,
That was some good sass. I appreciated that.
I did too, actually. That was really good.
Gesh thinks of you as a friend. Friendly ribbon.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Raymond, and
Hey.
thank you very much for the sub and on a 5-month streak. And it's okay, buddy. We get it. And I'm not really a big fan of Mondays. I love long weekends. Don't get me wrong. All right, so setting out. The car is driven by a kind of a everyday guy. He's got a driver's cap on, suspenders, and a white shirt with some long breeches, mud caked boots. And as he sets off, he starts in conversation in a thick, very thick accent. Um, to which you watch as Calm breaks into conversation with him in Romani. And they are now, and you can hear the excitement in the driver's as he realizes that Combs speaks the same language. And the conversation is very quick as they go back and forth and back and forth. And thank you for the sub. We have Callie Xenon. You guys, you should also follow Callie, Callie Xenon. If you don't, she's fantastic. She does a lot of fun games. They do the Jackbox party mix and stuff like that a lot of times, and plays other games. So make sure you guys give Callie hello. If you ever see me playing Destiny 2 on the PC, you'll see a Zen tag, and that's because I am part of the Xenon army, or Xenon Armada. You guys should definitely join in as they play all sorts of games. Yeah. All sorts of stuff. And yes, she's been lurking for a little while. We're glad to have you guys. Are glad to have you. Welcome to the show, Raymond. You haven't missed much. They had a party, got a flamethrower and a couple of rifles, and now they're on the way to a small town. So the road is not clear. You can clearly see that this is seen a bit of battle as the road bounces and hangs around every once in a while. It goes from being cobblestone to being rough dirt patch to being back to some sort of road again. It takes you probably from Orde to Salanta, takes you about an hour as you drive through there. You arrive. The town is small, only in that it's mostly farmland, but you can definitely tell that it is seen more activity in earlier years as opposed to later years. The farmland in this area is basically hilly, and you can see that it is brushed down. A lot of the stuff that they grow are small, hardier plants, root plants, and some of the hardier nightshades, some forms of tomatoes and things like that. The driver takes you straight into the middle of the town and pulls up to a house that has a placard out in front of it that gives you the idea that it is the general shop. He says something to Colm and then starts laughing, and Colm kind of chuckles along with him. And before he turns and looks at you all, saying, "But apparently, the mayor also runs the general store. So the man that we're looking for is here within. Shall we?" And he exits the vehicle and opens the door, allowing you entry into the shop. The driver waves and just kind of points like he's going to wait right here. The store is well lit, if not cozy. You can see that it is a general store. It has foodstuffs and goods and things like that. Vegetables are weighted, or produce is weighted behind the shelf, as well as some of the spices and things like that. You would just ask for how much ever it was you need. They would measure it out and then hand it to you, pricing it as appropriately. The man behind the counter is a rather rotund fella. He has a big, thick shock of black hair that comes down to the side and rolls over into, swept into mutton chops and a wonderful mustache. As you enter in, he starts speaking immediately in the Romani tongue, which Colm has a conversation with him, and he kind of cocks his head and says something, Britannia. Colm nods up and down, and he just kind of chuckles, and they seem to be having a very nice conversation. And then Colm motions to each one of you, just saying like your first name. Like you catch Emrys and Munin and Gedge and Lys. And the man just kind of waves at you. And then you can hear him asking a question. And given the context of the words, you get kind of it's a why are you here? What can we do for you kind of thing. Colm goes on to explain again in the language. Munin's beard of glory. He goes on to explain, or you get the idea that he's explaining, and he starts motioning with his hands like this, and then like like her. The man just kind of laughs and he just waves his hand, and Colm looks at you all and says, "Apparently, he thinks it's all just a lark. He doesn't think any of it's real. Um, anything in particular you'd like for me to ask him?"
Where this farmer resides that apparently had seen it.
Ah, yes. He goes back and has a quick conversation, and you see the man pointing up the road and then making like, left and then straight and then take a right. And then, he turns and looks at you and says, "All right, we've got the directions to his location. And anything else that we need to ask?"
I think that's about the only lead we really had. I'll kind of look at the rest of the party. Anyone else think of something we could ask?
Personally, I want to know how he became the mayor and is also running a general store, but that doesn't seem like the time or place for this mission. So let's head off to the farmer.
Maybe
That's
it's
a later
hobby.
question. He
He
took
gets-
some night classes at the local community college.
Yeah, he gets bored with all the paperwork running the town, so he does the store on the side.
Nothing has been set on fire yet.
We just arrived in the town.
So it's still early.
Perfect.
I
time to start on
expect in the next hour that at least something will be on fire.
Is the flamethrower still in the car, or is Gedge just kind of like walking around, like ready to go?
Gedge is over there like goof, 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 goof.
So where
little
is
gouts
this
of
farmer?
fire.
Dish, 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 dish.
Yeah, Gedge is like, "Look, I'm a dragon."
Is there any sort of gummy candy or any sort of like sweet, like even hard candy in this general store?
Yes, you can see boiled sweets, basically like a taffy. You can see also wonderful hard candy on the sticks with the round knobs on them, like the sugar candies, and all manner of other cakes and things like that to be had.
She was looking for like gummy candy, like something to just like gnaw on, but she didn't want taffy.
Okay. Like I said, there's a hard candy that's on a stick, like not like a lollipop because it's all down the edge of the stick, but it's just like a broken.
rock
No?
candy.
Yeah, there you go, rock candy. Thank you.
Jerky would give you
He
something to
has a
gnaw on.
toffee.
Would take the toffee.
All right. You purchase some toffee. Not a problem. Colm reaches in and purchases it for you. Okay, so to the farm then. The drive over to the farm is a quick one. The driver is lead-footed, and the road here does jar you quite a bit as you do so. Everybody give me a dexterity saving throw.
I hope I fail.
Something
Oh.
tells me he wants us out of his vehicle with all of these munitions. You said
17.
saving throw?
Mm-hmm.
17.
Say 18.
It's a 19 for me.
17.
Oh, look at all of you rolling high. The lowest was a what?
17.
17. Your bouncing and bobbing around in the car, but you manage to not collide with your skulls at all, saving yourself something there. The car pulls up.
What did Colm get? Did Colm also do a deck saving throw?
Colm's doing the wonderful hand up and hand over. And so he's got one hand on the roof and one hand on the door, like
3 points of contact at all times.
exactly.
I
Colm
feel
looks
like
he's
as
done
one
this
of
a
the
time or two.
smaller people in the car, he's not at the door. He's probably in the middle.
Colm's in the driver's lap. Well, this is awkward.
Hello.
Can I steer? I'm a big boy. Look at me.
I can't reach the pedals yet, but I'm here.
I say, this is exciting. Anyways. Now, Colm just became John Oliver, and I don't know why. Anyways,
Okay, to the farm.
as you pull up, the car brakes hard in front of the farm. Everybody hydrate! Woo! For those asking, I'm not drinking a beer. It is a peach sparkling water. Although now I want a beer. Anyways, the car pulls to a halt, nosing down into the dirt, and you all expel yourselves from the vehicle. Standing on the porch is an older gentleman, probably in his 60s. He looks like he has he's wearing a tank top and a pair of suspenders, worn breeches that are covered in dust, and boots that are also covered in dirt and mud. He looks like a hardtack individual, a very dour look on his face as you all bound from the vehicle. Colm waves, dusting his coat off as he walks over and starts to speak to the man in Romani. To which you see the man wave and then start speaking in German. I was not expecting visitors. Who are you people?
Doom, 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 doom.
They call me the dragon. Sorry, wrong. They called me the dragon.
Why do they call you that? Oh, well, let me demonstrate.
I don't
Let me
speak
show ya.
German, so I'm not going to respond. I'm just going to kind of look at the party.
Liz is going to come up and go, we heard that there was a problem in this town, and as far as we've asked about, you're the only person who seems to actually know about the problem, so we're here to solve it. Maybe.
It's no problem. Everything has been resolved. Everything is fine.
How so? If you don't mind me asking.
I do. I do mind you asking. There are no problems here. You can go. Everything is fine. There's nothing to report. It was a misunderstanding. I saw nothing in the field. I thought it was my imagination. There are no troubles at all.
Insight check?
Go for it.
Yeah.
Not 20.
Oh, I thought
Obfuscating is not even close to what this man is doing. He is lying like a rug and doing a poor job of it.
Did someone hire you to say that, or tell you that something would happen to you if you didn't do what they told you to?
No. Everything here is fine. You can go. There is nothing wrong. I would like to recant my earlier statement about some things that happened. There was nothing.
Liz
And he
just
keeps
smiled.
like glancing over, like every once in a while he glance over his shoulders.
No,
Liz just smiles and goes, I need this man to make a charisma saving throw. She is casting Zone of Truth.
Zone of Truth. What's your DC?
15.
That
Does
is
not
Rolled
one
a
of them
15.
on the die. You know he passed, and he looks at you and goes, I am no longer asking you to leave. I am demanding that you go. You come into my house and use those forbidden arts here. 9.
I don't really know what's going on in this conversation, but I see him getting agitated. So I'm just going to kind of unshoulder the rifle and point it at the ground and chamber around.
See there, there's a language that everybody understands.
And see
As
if a
he's-
little bit of intimidation will.
Give me an intimidation check. Do so with advantage because of.
Okay.
I would like to say, since we know Moonin doesn't speak German, I'd probably be beside him, just sort of like whispering.
I'm
what's
just going off
on to
body
him.
language. I see him getting agitated. And
I'm just too short. You don't hear my whispering. It's fine.
Liz also tells him in Norwegian to be like, also sort of like that intimidation factor of like, we speak a different language, fuck you, sort of thing of like, he's lying his ass off and doesn't like magic. Shoot him if you want.
honestly, I think I'm going to use my luck point someone gave me.
Listen, speak with the dead works just as well.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
You'll have to kill me before I talk. Okay?
I mean, not a problem. Zone of truth didn't work. Speak with the dead. Nah, no, you can't lie.
But I'm going to use my luck point I was given
Okay.
through chat here because with advantage, that was abysmal. That is a lot better.
Don't
That's a-
forget you can claim your claws to give these guys a boon or a bane. You can also give me a boon or a bane. You can give the individual players, the entire party. You can do all sorts of things. Yes, he has many tapestries. Uh, and don't forget, you can also reclaim the Twitch points for such things as hydrate, to have one of the party members give a party appreciation, so forth and so on.
Well, thank goodness for that luck point because the first two rolls were under a 5. The third
Thank
roll,
goodness for
though, brings us up to a 17.
Okay. Again, not understanding the German that he's speaking, but the body language, which supersedes any language. You see him hold his hands up, and then 9, 9, 9.
Can we be civil then?
If he's
Yeah.
gesturing at me, I don't understand. I'm going to talk to him in a different language. I don't know what you're saying. And I'm going to look to the other party and just like keep shouldering the rifle.
Tell your friends not to shoot me. I just, there's nothing wrong. I promise you, there's nothing wrong. And the person that they saw, that they said that they saw, he is perfectly fine. There's nothing to see here. He is, he is kind. Leave us be. And I promise you, he will make no more troubles for anyone.
Liz looks back at Moonin and goes, in Norwegian, whatever the creature is, he's trying to protect it. That's why he's lying. So hold off on shooting him just yet, but don't put it away.
Maybe
Do
just
it.
wing him.
Do you want me to aim at like the shin?
Yeah, I can repair a shin.
Pivot the rifle towards his leg.
She then turns back and goes, we're just here to figure out what the issue is, and it would be appreciated if you would help us. As long as there is not an issue, we will leave you in peace, but you were shifty, and I still don't trust you.
Fine. If you will follow me to the barn, I will explain everything. Da?
Right.
Okay. And he's like, he's much less dour and much more cowed at this point in time. You can see that he understands that he is outgunned at this point in time. He leads you around the back. You can see that the farm is doing well for a man in his age. There's a lot of this is not a small bit of work. He would definitely need help. As he
Is Colin still with us?
Yes, Calm is walking. He's taking notes. He's being very quiet and letting you take point on this. The man leads you to a large barn, which seems to have recent work done to it, like repairs in the roof and things like that. He says, wait a moment and let me speak to him before you go in, okay? And please, for all that is proper and good, shoulder your rifles. He is easy to agitate, and I don't want him to be upset, if you will.
I don't
Moonin,
understand what he's saying.
lower your rifle.
One more time, Gish?
Moonin, he wants you to lower your rifle because the person that we're about to meet, he doesn't want him to be agitated. So if you wouldn't mind.
We're okay to shoot the farmer, but whoever is in the barn is probably an innocent. So we're gonna leave him be for the moment. Let's.
We're
Fine.
okay to shoot the farmer. The fuck?
Is this being said to Moonin in a different language, or everyone understands?
Yeah, let's continue to it in Norwegian.
Okay.
Calm looks at you both. It looks at you, Liz, and goes, we really need to have a conversation when we return home. You're a bit off-putting. So the man opens the door and he starts singing Edelweiss. It's not the best. It's not going to win any awards, but it reminds you of like a grandfather singing. And as you do, your passive perceptions are all pretty high. You hear a he starts speaking in German. He's like, come now, come. It's okay. And eventually you watch and you feel the ground shudder. And you can kind of like, it's not like that big, but you kind of get the idea of how like if you feel somebody run through your house, you can feel it in your feet, you know? So somebody with a lot of weight behind them is moving forward. As he comes from the dark of the barn out into the light, he kind of puts his hands up and you can see stitching here at the wrist. As he steps forward, he's probably close to 8.5 feet tall. His shoulders are wider than almost the barn door. He has to slip almost sideways through. You can see that there's stitching in places around his face and his head, his neck, giving you very much that he is a patchwork man. He stands in front of you and he claps as though he has all of the strength of a titan, but none of the wits. Yes, young Frankenstein.
Yep.
I ain't got nobody.
Put on the Ritz!
This would have also been humming Edelweiss as well. As soon as she heard him singing, she would start to hum along. So.
As you are humming, are you still humming Edelweiss? He looks at you and he's and you can see the dullard look on his face. He's slack-jawed as he looks at you. And he reaches out slowly and with delicate fingers, just kind of like takes a little of your hair and was like, yeah, just kind of like moving it through his fingers. And he seems very calmed by the fact that you are humming this song. It's like that song has a calming effect on him.
How'd you come across him?
What I had said was true. He was in my fields, and I chased him away because I wasn't sure what he was. At first, I thought he was just a man. I saw him; he was hunkered down on the ground. Um, he was eating the potatoes raw. I realized he came back the next night, and he looked pathetic. He was sitting on the floor or on the ground. Again, he was eating potatoes raw. I realized he wasn't going to be much of a trouble. He did not like the torch. That is why I got the flashlight. It works better at keeping him calm. He but
Same.
he is simple. He is just lost. I don't know where he comes from. He understands German with no problems, but
Have you tried to get him to do any work around your farm? Does he follow simple orders?
yeah, if I show him what to do, that is why you see. And he kind of motions to the barn, and you can see some of the fields that look like they've been freshly tilled. He says he is not a fool, just not fully developed, if you will. It is as though he were put together, and not everything was put together. Calm is now making his way around this man and like looking at him, and you can see he's got a notepad out and like a pencil, and he's making sketches and like drawing and things like that.
So,
Liz would be speaking in German and just like trying to like be very like, how are you, and like what how did you come to be here, and like, do you like it here, and that sort of question. And she would also have offered some of her toffee.
Oh, he takes the toffee from you. He doesn't seem to answer many of the questions. He just kind of, "Hmm." But when you offer him the toffee, he takes it from you and he smells it. And then he starts, and he's like big, mouth open and closed, chewing. And he starts humming Edelweiss like to himself, this kind of broken sounding sound, you know.
other than fire, what triggers him?
I'm not really sure. Also, he reacts to direct threats much as you would. Um, simple things like loud noises and attaching him a pitchfork. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
We got some good chat going on today.
Yeah, we do. I appreciate it. He is protective of certain peoples, such as myself. I don't know where he came from, but you won't hurt him, will you?
Liz is enamored. She is very much like, no, we're not hurting this man. This is now under Bliss's protection, and with that, the party's protection.
I'm on standby. Unless someone's translating, I'm just kind of watching what's going on with, no guns raised, just kind of waiting for something to happen.
Now, will any of the knowledge that Liz has read over the past night tell her anything about what is in front of her, or would she know anything about what's in front of her?
Nope. Nope, because
Nope.
it was like you're not sure what you're going up against, so there's like really no information to go on.
The other thing is, does it seem like they are of similar age? Does it look like the stitched together person in front of her seems that he would die in the lifetime of the farmer, or does it seem like the farmer might die first?
Medicine check. Gedge.
In Irish Gaelic to Colm.
Mm-hmm.
Colm, what do you make of this? Do you think he's a threat? Honestly, just assuming that he speaks the language because he's spoken every one thus far.
Colm's a savant. He looks at you for a moment and then says to you in English, no, I don't believe so. Something. There's a thought niggling in the back of my head. Something about this is. There's some research that's going to need to be done, but we have a larger problem. We've been asked to take care of this thing. What are we going to do with it?
The problem's taken care of.
This is a 19, and she looks over at Colin and goes, "No, we were told to investigate. We were not told to take care of the problem. We were told to investigate. And we were told that it might just be childish play. And that's exactly what it seems like.
With discretion.
That's a good point. We were told to investigate with discretion. 19. You don't know. It's a stitched together man. It could live a couple of years, it could live 100 years. There's just, you get the idea though that given the lifestyle of the farmer will probably expire before the monster does or the man does.
I want to take a
Let's
weird
slowly
stab
keep
at
her
something.
after she's done adventuring.
What's that?
I said Bliss will always need a roommate after she's done adventuring. She's very short. She needs somebody to reach tall places.
Well, he is 8.5 feet tall, so he's PDB, pretty damn big. Mary Wollstonecraft. No, but I've read some Mary Godwin.
You were saying something, Emrys?
I want to take a random stab at something when I notice that he doesn't talk back to this. I want to see if he knows some sign. Just to see if he knows some simple answers.
Mhm.
I would just make sure to get his attention by moving up to him and then start signing at him a little bit. Mostly, like, the first thing would be, do you understand?
He looks at you.
Ah. All right. Okay. I'd relay that to the rest of them. It seems he understands some sign.
Does he know where he came from?
Ask him that. Do you know where you're from?
He signs Father and Create. Father Create.
Father Create. But it's not the
Where?
farmer.
Hmm.
My next question would be, can you show us?
He looks around and turns around and turns like he's turning all the way around. He's doing it so much that he's actually starting to create like a little dust cloud. And then he just looks at you and goes, "No."
No. Okay.
He signs far away.
Okay.
and lost.
Far away and lost.
Is there a name to the father?
That's true. I can ask him that as well. I'll ask his name as well,
Mm-hmm.
if he has one. That is.
He just kind of looks at you. He takes he takes his big finger and in the dirt writes uh Adrian, Adrien, Adrian.
Adrian. Okay.
And then he points at himself.
All right. Adrian, it's nice to meet you. I'd introduce myself. I'm Emrys.
Mm. Mm. And then he signs, like, he says pretty hair and then points at Liz. Mm.
He likes your hair, Liz.
Thank you. And she hands him she digs into her bag and tries to find another sweet thing that she can hand him and just be like, "Aw, my little my Liebchen, like candy."
Oh, my little lipstick. He whatever little tidbit of thing you have or morsel, he takes it from you. And he looks at the farmer, and the farmer just kind of nods his head, and then he just tears into it. If it is a wrapper, he doesn't care. It's going in his mouth.
I'm sure he'll spit out the wrapper later. I'll look to the farmer and I'll speak in German again. He says he's far from here and that he was lost. How? That explains why he would be eating your potatoes. He was probably just starving, mostly.
Well, apparently, look at the size of him.
Very
He would
true.
need to eat quite a bit. Are you taking him from me?
I don't think so.
Is he a responsibility you're willing to take on and account yourself for?
Well, he hasn't harmed anyone so far, and he is useful here. He listens to me and responds.
You also understand that notes will be kept on him just to make sure that he doesn't become a problem in the future.
And if he becomes a problem, but then
Depends on what kind of problem it becomes.
Moon is like,
Look at the flowers, Adrian.
Just look at the flowers, Adrian.
No.
Isn't the bunny soft, Adrian?
The only reason I could think of
Damn the lot of you, okay?
Rabbits again.
Tell me about the rabbits one more time, please.
the only reason I could think about taking him would be maybe if we walk out with him, he might remember and find his way. We can at least find who made him. But that's a shot in the dark, really.
I figured that if he knew where he came from, by this time he would have gone back home.
Said he got lost.
Yeah, well, if no one cares to come and find him, perhaps lost is the best thing for him to be.
True.
He has a home here, and he will be taken care of.
In Norwegian to Liz. Do you find it really interesting that we were sent with a lot of weaponry for something he didn't know was here?
Sad flamethrower noises.
In Norwegian she looks back at him and goes, I mean, I'm okay with killing the Duke over this man.
I feel like
Let's not put any political upsets in Europe, okay? Just because we
Ooh.
listen. Do you want to start a world war? Because that's how you start a world war. You kill a duke.
You know, not if you do it right.
Listen, an archduke got killed. People went to war. Let's not do it again.
Not if he ate bad food.
Look, if no one ever finds out about it, they don't know.
But also,
Still
still,
make it look like an accident. Come on now.
still to Liz. But I feel like it would be worth feeding the Duke a line of shit to see what he actually knows
Oh
about
yeah.
what we found.
Oh
up here.
yeah. We're telling the Duke shit. Like the Duke is getting a load of shit. He's going to get that this was 3 kids in a trench coat. Fuck him.
The old 6 goblins in a trench coat. I love it.
So I was
It's a big trench coat.
running away.
I was
But
gonna say I do want to ask if he ran. One more thing and sign if he's willing.
He signs. It's very simple. Like house, and then big house, and then fire, and then run.
Give him my thanks and wish him a good life. Basically, that's about it. Take care of the farmer, pretty much.
Adrian, look at the
Lisbon
flowers.
looks over and goes to Colm. Do we have a picture of the Duke?
Give me a moment and I'll see what I can produce for you. And he opens the accordion case up, takes and puts his note.
Also, will you look for book of sign language while you're in there?
He kind of goes, I'm sorry, what? he just like moves it away.
I assume it's like us, and there might be a book of sign language in there. I thought it might be helpful to give the farmer, who we haven't gotten his name, considering that my Liebchen doesn't speak that much German.
I'm not sure what you. This is just a normal. Fine. I don't believe there's going to be a book on sign language in here, but I will ask. And he takes and he reaches into the accordion and fiddles through the different separators and pulls out a newspaper. And it's from today, and it has a picture, like a hand-drawn picture of the Duke, along with Orson Mansley. And he hands it to Emrys, I guess. Emrys. Or Gage, or whomever asked for it. And
Just asked for it, and she's gonna show it to Adrian and see if he has any sort of recollection.
he just looks at it and shakes his head, and he's like, So he doesn't show any inkling. He also pulls out a small book, and you get the idea that it's like a beginner's guide to like early sign language. It's like big pictures and things to understand. Basically baby signing time, but in German.
I'd try and show him some of at least the main things for just like the simple questions to begin with as well.
All right, and so you hand him over the book, and he kind of looks at it for a moment, and he thanks you all. So, and he asks you, Liz, since you seem to be the one that's trying to connect to him the most, as you can feel your hair being not pulled, but like tugged slightly as he's running his gigantic mitts, like he's running your hair through his mitts. Um, he, the man asks you, so you are going, so he is staying here, then he is not going with you.
No. His name is Adrian, by the way.
I am Stefan Pareshiv.
Liz then looks at Stefan and goes, if for some reason Adrian becomes a problem for you, or you become unable to keep him, here is a good number to reach me. And she hands him her personal cell phone or her personal number to his
Yeah.
house with lock. Like one of them will answer the phone. Plus, she also has like an answering machine. Like there will be a reply to this.
No machine, but okay.
Someone's there taking notes.
No, were invented. Answering machines were invented. I looked it up last week.
Look at you,
It's just a
fancy.
person in a little chair. No, I'm
Yeah.
kidding.
It's just one ringy dingy. It's just
Hello.
Hello.
Very sorry.
This is the newspaper. This is the phone service.
I would have a question for Colm while all this is going on.
Mm-hmm.
Colm, you did a good bit of research on the fly before we came out here as to like general happenings of the area, yeah?
Yes, of course.
Were there any large fires in the last bit of time here?
Well, not here in Salonta.
In the general vicinity.
I would have to do some further research. Perhaps we can retire back to the town and do a little looking into that.
That seems to be a good direction for us to go now.
Have a great night, Callie. Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate you. Excellent. Then let's retire. We'll see if there's a place for us to stay the night here. And he heads towards the car, waiting for you guys to join him. Anything else that you would like to ask of Adrian or Stefan?
Unless somebody wants me to ask something specific.
I want
Just
to
make
get
sure that he's happy here.
That he's happy here? Okay. Gedge?
I want Gedge to be the last person to walk towards the car.
Okay.
Before
You
I
ask
leave...
if he's happy. Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry. You go first.
He nods emphatically. And he tells you, no hungry. No hungry. And then he puts a hand on the man's head, the farmer's head. It's like, all right, so
After scaring the hell out of this fella, I'm going to ask Liz to help me translate here, and I'm going to walk up to the farmer and extend a hand and say thanks for cooperating.
Liz instead goes, if you don't, if Liz then goes,
yes.
if you mess up Adrian, I will come back.
Wait, one more time?
Instead of translating it properly, she just goes, if you do anything to harm Adrian, he will come back. That's what he just said to you.
He
I
looks
don't know.
back and I know he looks at Moonin, whose hand is out like this, and he looks at Liz and he looks back at Moonin, and then you can see him like he doesn't break contact with Liz for a moment, and he takes Moonin's hand, and he has kind of a nervous look on his face as he looks at you and says, "Das ist gut, ja."
I smile and shake his hand. Have a good evening, and I walk away.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Liz will then tell Moonin what she's done once he's in the car, but until then, she's just like, nope, this is great.
You're a bastard.
This is why I asked Liz to translate for me.
This is
It
the
was
whole
a
reason why.
50-50 shot.
Adrian is waving at Liz as she leaves. All right. Leaving Gedge.
That's not what he said, for one. She's just attached to Adrian there. He said thanks for cooperating.
Ah,
And that's why I stayed back as well. I understand you wanted to protect him. We're in the business of protecting other people from some not so nice things, so we have to make sure we know the difference between the good ones and the bad ones. Adrian seems like a good one.
yeah, he is a good boy.
I'm gonna clasp him on the shoulder. Appreciate you. Take care of him.
Of course, he will be looked after.
He's gonna turn and walk to the car.
All right. Did Emrys already head back to the vehicle as well?
He would have headed back after
Okay.
Moonin and Liz left.
All right. As you get into the vehicle, the driver and Colm are having a conversation back and forth. The driver seems very adamant about something, but it's not like an agitated sound or anything. It's more of an insistence. And Colm puts a hand up and looks at you and says, the driver is wrong accent. The driver is a farmer here locally, and he's invited us to stay at his place. He says that he'll feed the lot of us and put us up for the night. So instead of paying for the hotel, I'm going to leave that decision up to you, as I have told him that is your decision to make.
I mean, we're not really paying for the hotel either way.
This is true, so it's up to you
Now,
all.
was the driver part of the Duke party, or
No.
was he just a driver?
The driver lives in Salanta, and is a farmer is a man from Salanta. You don't think he's part of the Duke's entourage or in any way.
Then she's fine with it. She's all like, yeah, that sounds fine.
Did the
Does he have
farmer-
enough room for all of us? It's a lot of us.
He has a quick conversation with the man, who laughs and is like motions like, nah, like think nothing of it. Once you're all in, he says something to Colm and says, "It looks as though it's been decided for us. Off we go." And he like guns it hard, and immediately you're all tossed into the back of the car. Poof, as he guns it, wheels it around and drives through the town, slowing down a modicum of speed, just as he can see people crossing the street. He doesn't want to hit them. You get the idea that he has driven a car before, but that this is not his car.
Where'd he get the
Oh
car?
my goodness. Colm just got a luck.
Colm got a luck. Awesome.
Colm got a luck.
Good, he deserves it.
A short drive outside of town, and you are met with a very large farmhouse. Is a 2-story unit, and you can see other smaller buildings off of it. The land lays out behind it, sprawling. As you guys exit the vehicle, you can see a rather rotund man with thick black hair leading down into mutton chops.
The mayor.
Steps forward and says in English, "I hope that my son-in-law has taken care of you and shown you about the town." You are all my guests here, of course. Yeah. Excellent. Please, make yourselves at home. My name is Alexei Vosilink. And as you make your way into the house to be fed and take a night's rest, do some research, that is where we're going to take our break for this evening. A huge thanks to everyone who came out. Again, thanks to Ray for the sub and for the gifted sub. Congratulations to Callie. I know she's already bounced. A huge thanks to all of the guys in the audience tonight. You guys kept it rolling. It was a lot of fun. Downer Botic. So we'll have to think about that one. Anyways, huge shout out and thanks to our crew this evening. Q, who was playing as Emrys. We had Otter, who was not only playing as Moonin, but also kind of manning the production part there. We had, I almost called you by your name, Voodoo playing Gedge, and Vixen, who was playing as Liz. And I am, of course, the DM, Heath, aka Cap. You guys can find me out there anywhere. Follow us on Twitter at DireBearAC. Don't forget, tomorrow we have Vampire the Masquerade. Then on Wednesday, we have Monster of the Week. And Thursday, Descent into Avernus. And then Saturday night, Stolen Cities. Don't forget to tune in. All of those start times are the same at 6 p.m. Stay tuned, because as soon as I quit wrapping my gums, there is going to be our outro song done by the very cool band and one of my former players, Charlotte. It's FX May Vary. So stay tuned for that. Thank you all. We'll see you all again next week for the final 2 episodes of this year. Don't worry, not of the show, just of this year. So we'll see you all next week. Until then, take care of yourselves. Love you guys. Thank you so much. Big ol' hearts.